$2,000 worth in courses. Iman Gadzhi's Kaizen Cure, Pen to Profit, and Agency Incubator. We're about to provide some unbiased opinion on the God, the Jesus of SMMA. Ethan couldn't have said it any better. Let's jump into it. So, in the video today, normally I have a script for my videos, but for this video I just felt like I should do this unscripted, live. It's not really live, but I won't have any notes down or anything. I'll just rely on my memory of my experiences through each course. Now, the first tip I do have for you before even considering jumping into getting a course is check that person you want to buy his course out on YouTube, and then find out whether you can actually watch that person, right? Because Agency Incubator, Pen to Profit, and Kaizen Cure all put together is around 80 hours. It's around 80 hours of content. And regardless of the amount of information you get from a course, if you don't like the way the person sounds or their voice, or you just don't like hearing the person in general, then you aren't gonna be there and be active and present in that whole 80 hours, right? But anyway, in my opinion, like, you can sit down and watch Iman for that whole 20 hours if it's one course, or 80 hours if you're gonna get all the courses, and not be bored, right? Because he is a very fun person to talk to, and he is very interactive, especially when it comes to him sharing his stories. It's very crazy for you to think that all of his entire journey is there on YouTube from 5 years ago. Like, he has his entire 6 year, 5 year journey on his YouTube channel, and I have watched like quite a majority of all his YouTube videos, if not all. Although I did check out like 3 or 4 of his videos that he recorded like 4 and 5 years ago. But anyway, let's jump into courses and reviewing the courses, because a large majority of these people who do make Iman Gadzhi course reviews actually end up having his courses affiliate links down below in their descriptions, in their video descriptions. Now, I don't have any affiliate links in the descriptions below, and I hope that proves and serves as a higher point that this will be a very unbiased opinion, right? I spent nearly $2,000 on Iman Gadzhi. I've just checked out 3 of his courses. I've bought 3 of his courses, which is Kaizen Cure, uh, Agency Incubator, and Pen to Profit. Now we'll go through each one as it is, right? Kaizen Cure. Let's look at a Kaizen Cure. Kaizen Cure is about mentality. Kaizen Cure is very much focused on your mentality, and Kaizen Cure was fantastic. I mean, Agency Incubator also has a 1 week, centered around mindset, but like that 1 week centered around mindset is taken and split up into another 8 week course focused on mindset. And I might consider making a video of like some of the things that I learned from Kaizen Cure. Although Kaizen Cure was about a 12 to 15 hour long course, I'll probably, when I do make a couple of videos and release a couple of videos, it'll probably be around 2 hours of content of mindset information that is similar to Kaizen Cure, because I don't want to rip off the dude's course, right? Like, if you want to get it in all its raw glory, then you should buy the course, but only once I've explained what it's about. So what is Kaizen Cure about? Kaizen Cure is an 8-week course focused on mindset, right? Because regardless of the amounts of information, tips, steps that you get online or from Agency Incubator, if your mindset isn't in the right place, then those would be useless, because either way you'll fail, right? Because in order to actually go ahead and achieve that, and Iman Gadzhi tells you himself that in order to achieve what you plan on achieving in your SMMA journey or in any business journey or life journey, you need to put in the work, right? Because he could give you the steps, but if you're telling yourself in your mind that I don't think I can do this, or if your sleeping schedule is off and you're not always working at peak performance and you're just in between half awake and half asleep, then you aren't going to be performing at your best if you had full on energy, right? So he talks a lot about that, about the fact that you need to rely on yourself and put in the work, because if your mind and body is not on point, then regardless of the steps to fame and wealth he gives you, you aren't going to achieve fame or wealth if your body and mindset is not on point. Some flaws in Kaizen Cure. I want to talk about some flaws, right? It's not just all goody nice things. There's also flaws in Kaizen Cure, and some flaws that I noticed in Kaizen Cure would be, this is a hard one. Uh, some flaws in Kaizen Cure, in my perspective, would be the fact that he didn't. Uh, wow, because Kaizen Cure focuses on mindset, and he did talk a lot about mindset. Uh, I can't, I can't find any. I can't think of on the spot. I can't think of that many flaws in Kaizen Cure, because it was focused on mindset and things like that, and it did elaborate a lot on that. Um, but mostly Kaizen Cure was on routine and you following a certain routine to ensure that your mind and body are optimized to be working at peak performance. So that is actually more or less, that is the actual thing of what Kaizen Cure is, because he also shows you and tells you about his routine in his morning and night routine, and why he added like a certain habit into that routine, right? And he elaborates to you, okay, this and this and this and this is what I do in the morning, and this and this and this and this is what I do at night, right? When jumping into Agency Incubator. Now, Agency Incubator was great until you jumped into the service delivery aspect of it. Now, don't get me wrong, I understand that Iman Gadzhi, he teaches you about systems, and he's trying to teach you how to grow your SMMA and like let it run on its own without you there. So maybe that's why he doesn't teach you a lot about Facebook ads. But his Facebook ads, honestly, you can get the Facebook ads, the service delivery Facebook ads part of Agency Incubator. You could honestly get the same information online. So if you're buying his course, Agency Incubator, to learn about Facebook ads, I'd suggest you just go onto Udemy or something and get a course there on Facebook ads, other than jumping into Iman Gadzhi's Agency Incubator for the Facebook ads, because it's not worth you spending $1,000 to get Facebook ads course, right? But if you're trying to build a system out of your SMMA and trying to build a hands-off business, then Agency Incubator is totally the place for you, because I'm gonna tell you what Ethan Ethan said. I don't know what his surname is, but it's a dude named Ethan on YouTube. He was like, if you had to play 7 minutes in heaven with Iman Gadzhi, he'd probably take a computer and and he'd build a system and he'd let that computer do it 7 minutes in heaven forever and ever and ever and just hop out of the room. that was that was very funny because it's very very true. Like if you watch Iman Gadzhi's YouTube videos, you realize that he's very focused on systems, which is something I've also been interested in, is leveraging systems and leveraging other people, because if you're able to do that, well, you're able to multiply the amount of time that you have, right? That's the difference between a billionaire and an ordinary average $10 an hour earning human, right? Because they both have 24 hours in a day. It's just has like the billionaire is leveraging like 2,000 hours from other people, whereas the average $10 an hour person only has his 24 hours in a day, so he only gets paid for his 24 hours in a day. But the billionaire is getting paid for the hours in a day that he leverages from other people. So instead of having only 24 hours in a day, technically he has like 2,000 hours in a day. And yeah, that's the sort of like mindset that Iman is Iman has, right? And it's very orientated on like you getting media buyers, you getting contractors, team members. He teaches you that you should call them team members, not contractors, not media buyers, just team members. That way they feel more compelled to go all in because they feel that they're a part of a team, a family, and when you grow, they grow. That's the sort of mentality behind calling your media buyer or contractor a team member. Uh, Pen to profit. Now, where Agency Incubator lacked on copywriting, because there is also uh one only one video on copywriting in Agency Incubator. There's a 46-minute video on copywriting where it teaches you how to be a copyright king, whereas Pen to Profit is that copyright king video turned into a 10-hour course, 10 hours if I'm not mistaken, or 14 hours, somewhere there between 10 to 14 hours, where it's just teaching you about Facebook ad copy and how to make sure that your copy is on point, as well as email, right? The email ads, and as well, that's actually the most helpful part of Pen to Profit, in my opinion, because I have been reading up on other people's like courses and steps when it comes to copywriting. But when it came to Iman Gadzhi's Pen to Profit, the most valuable information I found there were email subject lines and examples of email subject lines and how you should like structure your emails. So that was very valuable to me, right? Maybe you'd find something else valuable in Pen to Profit. So, like, if you haven't been reading up on copywriting books, then Iman Gadzhi's Pen to Profit would be a great course for you to get, in my perspective, in my opinion, right? But as a whole, all three of them I've looked at them as an investment, right? It's very amazing. I could have gotten all three of those courses for free somewhere if I searched really, really deep on Google, right? Because there's a lot of bad things you can find on Google if you go really, really deep. But that's something we all know. But yeah, all in all, his courses put together were amazing, and they've really propelled me, my knowledge, and my agency, and especially Kaizen Cure. Honestly, if you didn't have the $1,000 to go out there and buy Agency Incubator, or if you didn't feel like it was necessary for you to get Pen to Profit, like out of all three of those courses I just told you, like regardless of whether you're doing SMMA, regardless of whether you're a real estate agent, a restaurant owner, whatever the business you're in, Kaizen Cure is a must-have investment, because Kaizen Cure, regardless of whether you have a business or not, Kaizen Cure is like just a way of life. It teaches you the real proper way of life for you to actually enjoy and make the most out of every single day. So, in my perspective, the first course of Iman Gadzhi you should ever buy is Kaizen Cure, because I give Kaizen Cure a 5 out of 5. I give Agency Incubator a 3.5 out of 5. Agency Incubator gets a 3.5 out of 5. Pen to Profit, I'll give Pen to Profit. I'll give Pen to Profit a 3.5 out of 5, and Kaizen Cure a total of 5 out of 5. Now, now that I've explained to you all these courses, reviewed all these courses, all those nice and sad things, let's talk about the problem or the issue about Iman Gadzhi and his courses as a whole, or him in total. Because if I'm reviewing his courses as a whole, I'm talking about him as a person. His courses are very much centered around local businesses, right? Even in Agency Incubator, he even gives you a LTV calculator. LTV calculators are only helpful for local businesses. And on this channel, I'm very much focused on teaching you guys about e-com businesses, right? Because the thing is, when you compare e-commerce owners to business owners, we have people like Gymshark. Gymshark just became a $1 billion company a couple of days ago. That's crazy, because Gymshark was started like 8 years ago in the dude's garage. We have people like Gymshark. We have a lot. Kevin David. Uh, a lot. Okay, I don't know these. I don't know these guys' names, but a lot of fu money is made from e-commerce owners, right? Ethan actually said this a lot, and like this opened my eyes. I was like, damn. And I even went like after Ethan was like, look, Iman is teaching us how to serve local businesses instead of how to serve e-commerce and info products, even though he is serving e-com and info products. Now I understand that e-com and info products are hard, like very much so hard to run. And the main difference, apart from money, whereas like these e-commerce owners, they have fu money, so giving you that 4,000, 5,000, 10,000 retainer a month won't be an issue to them in their pockets, right? Because you're just gonna help them make that cash back, and they understand that, because in order to get where they were, they had to advertise their products. Whereas offline businesses, while they've lived their entire business life cycle not having to rely on online ads, so why would they be giving you 10,000, 4,000, $8,000 retainers, which are unheard of in local businesses, for you to help them grow their businesses, right? And to even think about it, to even like make matters worse, the CPL, cost per lead, for local businesses is extremely high, because you're like targeting one town or one city for one dentist, right? Which means you only have like, depending on the city or town you're in, you only have like between 100,000 and, yeah, between like 10,000 to 100,000 people to reach out to. And that is before you even consider adding interests and gender and demographics and things like that. And the thing about Facebook ads, I actually learned this the hard way through experience. The thing about Facebook ads is, the smaller your target group is, the higher the CPL, cost per lead, is, because you're being very, very, very specific. I mean, you're targeting like 1,000 to 2,000 people, right? and Facebook is trying to squeeze as much out of you as it can, because it's like, okay, this guy is targeting 1,000 to 2,000 people, and in Facebook eyes, Facebook thinks that, okay, this person, if this person is only targeting 1,000 to 2,000 people, then the chances of those 1,000 to 2,000 people buying is 60 to 80%, right? And they're trying to get as much out of you as they can. That's what Facebook thinks in their eyes. Whereas in in e-commerce businesses, you're targeting the entire country, right? An entire country. And when you target an entire country and add in all those interests, then your the size of people you'll be targeting to is around 100,000 to like maybe 200, 500, 1 million, 2 million people, right? And in Facebook eyes, Facebook will probably think this person's only targeting 1 million people. What are the chances that all those 1 million people will actually buy and become customers? Let's just lower their cost per lead, right? That's what Facebook sees, and that's the truth of cost per lead, and the difference, like the main financial difference between e-commerce businesses and local businesses. Now, another thing is, if you help a dentist who makes $20,000 a month, chances are they won't be able to pay you 10,000 or 5,000 a month, because not even that's a very big chunk of their cash. Whereas e-commerce owners, they already know that. I don't even know if this part will be kept in, because I just rambled right now. But anyway, yeah, that is the biggest biggest issue with Iman I have, is that he teaches people to go left while he goes right. And like, he teaches you how to drive, he teaches you how to get into the vehicle, he teaches you everything you need to learn about driving, about what to do, when you should stop, when you should go, right? It's just that when you get into your car, he gives you the wrong directions. He says goes left, go left, and he goes right. And this is what happens. He's going that way to the road to F you money while you go that way, right? I mean, the guy is always flexing his Rolexes, and Rolexes, his Richard Mille, his AP, his Patek, and if you put all the price of all of his watches together, you could probably get a Rolls Royce car out of that, and probably a couple other cars out of that. So, yeah, I truly believe that that dude does have the FU money to say that he's big enough, right? And a plus, I must add a plus. I can't just talk about the negative. I must add the plus to Iman Gadzhi would also be that, unlike other people out there, he doesn't live off of his course money, right? In one of his videos, he actually talked about him making around 20 to 30% profit on the course sales, which is insane, because that basically means he doesn't survive or rely on surviving on his course. And when you come to that conclusion, you realize that, okay, that means that Iman is actually doing this, like, he's actually selling his courses because he wants to help you as a social media marketing agency owner, right? So the reason why he has courses is to educate you, which means that his ideology behind trying to reform the education system couldn't be more true and accurate. And that is something that gave Iman my respect and loyalty, is for him to say that he's trying to reform the education system, and he's actually putting his money where his mouth is. Think that's how the saying goes. But yeah, he's actually practicing what he preaches, and that in my eyes, that is very admirable, because a large portion of these course sellers end up just stopping what they do to just sell their courses. Like, we take a look at, I might get burned for this, but we take a look at Dan Lok, right? Dan Lok used to be a copywriter, but he realized that teaching people how to copyright is more profitable than actually being a copywriter. And now he lives off of teaching people how to copyright instead of actually copywriting, right? But anyway, this has been Iman Gadzhi Course Review, Kaizen Cure, Pen to Profit, and Agency Incubator. If you want to talk and discuss about any big things I might have left out in this review, then throw them down in the comment section below. If you loved what I do, if you're into SMMA, especially e-commerce, then hit the subscribe button, like this video if you found any value in it, and till I see you guys in a minute. Thank you, dear.
Hope you're aiming right. If I'm on site, I'm not afraid to die. How you know? I'll be dressed in white. White light. White light.